Hello guys, today I'll be talking about 5 reasons why I love Trivium. Now, of course, there are other reasons out there, but these are 5 that immediately come to mind for me personally. But at the end of the video, I will be showing you guys all the Trivium merch that I have, and not including CDs, but if you're curious of what CDs I have from Trivium, I do have another video on my channel where I do show you guys the Trivium CDs I have, such as well, I pretty much have all their albums, but in that video I do show CDs from other bands like Killswitch Engage and As It Lay Dying and some others. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into these 5 reasons here. And this is in no particular order, but the first one I got here is each album is different and they do not repeat themselves. Some might disagree and might compare 2 albums and all that, but in my opinion, each album sounds different. They have their own, I guess, uniqueness to them. But with Ember to Inferno, it was raw and heavy. And then you had Ascendancy, which was arguably maybe straight up metalcore. And then you had The Crusade, which was fairly thrash influenced. And then you had Shogun, which was a mix of a lot of things. Like you heard thrash, you heard prog, and of course you heard metalcore too. And then you had In Waves, which kind of had a little bit of atmosphere to it, while also diving into some pretty heavy, intense stuff like songs like Dust Dismantled and maybe Skyline Surveillance. That's the one I was thinking about. But then you had Vengeance Falls, which was more straightforward, and you also had Silence in the Snow, which experimented with a more melodic approach. And then you had The Sin of the Sentence, which was kind of a mix of all their albums, and I think they executed that very well, which is why I believe The Sin of the Sentence is easily one of their best albums, easily top 3 for sure. But anyways, let's move on to the second reason. They are not afraid to experiment within their own sound. I mean, like I mentioned earlier in the video, they tend to experiment with prog a little bit, and you can hear that a little bit with Shogun and Sin of the Sentence, with songs like Revanchist or the title track on Shogun. And they also are not afraid to experiment with a more melodic sound, like on Silence in the Snow, with songs like Until the World Goes Cold or Beneath the Sun. But also, they're not afraid to experiment with thrash too, which of course thrash is one of their biggest influences, because they are influenced by bands like Metallica and Overkill. Because I do remember, I think it was Paulo, I remember seeing him wearing an Overkill shirt once somewhere. I can't remember where, but yeah, there was another reason that I definitely had to have here in my 5 reasons. But next, my third reason is they are not a typical band within their genre. Some might disagree, but what I think makes them not a typical band is that, again, earlier in this video, I mentioned that each album is different, and they tend to experiment a lot with like lyrical themes. Not all their lyrics are about relationships, or not all their lyrics are about staying strong or holding on or whatever. But yeah, that's another reason. So the fourth reason is memorable solos. Now, I'm sure some might disagree with that, but in my opinion, they do have their fair share of memorable solos. Just to name a few examples, you have the song Anthem, you also have the title track on Sin of the Sentence, you also have the song Rain. But yeah, those are 3 that immediately come to mind for me. But yeah, again, they do, in my opinion, have their fair share of memorable solos. Even some of the solos are pretty fun to listen to too, especially in the song Anthem. But the album, The Crusade, does have its fair share of pretty ripping solos, in my opinion. But next we have, finally, my final reason, number 5. Some of their best work is not only just at the beginning of their career. Now, there are some bands that are definitely a victim of course, their best work just being only at the beginning. Just to name a few bands, or to name a couple, Linkin Park and Incubus. Now, I'm sure some people might disagree with this, but personally, I think those 2 bands, I think their best work was easily closer to the beginning of their career. Now, sure, maybe both bands have songs later in their career that are maybe some of their best, but it doesn't compare to how much songs in their earlier in their career that is, to me, their best. But back to Trivium, I think the Sin and the Sentence, that's some of their best work that they've ever made, like the title track and the Revanchist, which is a song that I don't think enough fans talk about. And same with Sever the Hand too. But yeah, Trivium, after an album like Sin and the Sentence, you're just left thinking, how are they gonna follow up an album like this? Because I mean, that album just really just had it all in my opinion. But yeah, again, my fifth reason was some of their best work is not only just at the beginning of their career. And I just can't say that enough, because Sin and the Sentence was just, in my opinion, just so good and easily one of their best. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on what I said here. Are there any other reasons that you can think of? Do you agree or disagree with some of my reasons here? And all that good stuff. Now, let's go ahead and move on to my merch. So, first I got this shirt here. And this is from the Sin and the Sentence box set that I got years ago. I'm not sure if it's in stock anymore. I'm pretty sure last time I was on their website it wasn't there anymore, but if you see it somewhere like on eBay or something, definitely get it if you're a big collector for Trivium. But also I have these things here. And also I have a tote bag here. And here I have the Sin and the Sentence box set, which I did do an unboxing for that years ago, but here's what's in it. You have this signed photo, you have this Oni School, and you also have these here. And one more thing here, it is these pins. But yeah, that's it for all the merch that I have. But again, if you're curious of what I have in terms of Trivium CDs, definitely check out my video where I show off my CDs from Trivium, Killswitch Engage, As I Lay Dying. All that remains, and Bull for My Valentine, I think. But I'll link the video at the end of this video so you can check it out. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on my merch, let me know your thoughts on my reasons and all that good stuff. But thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe, have a nice day, and take care.